My beloved child, I need you to stop everything you are doing right now and listen with the ears of your spirit. This message appearing on your screen at this exact millisecond is not a fluke of technology, nor is it a random occurrence of an algorithm. It is a divine interruption, a sovereign appointment I have scheduled since the beginning of time just for you. I know you were about to scroll past. I know your mind is heavy with 1,000 worries, and I know you feel like you have been screaming into an empty void for the last 90 days. But I am here to tell you that the silence is over. I have bypassed every barrier and every distraction to find you in this quiet moment, because what I am about to reveal to you cannot wait another hour. You are not here by chance. You are here by my command. For I have seen your secret tears and heard the unspoken pleas of your heart. Stay with me, for I am whispering directly into the depths of your soul. And if you turn away now, you may miss the very key that unlocks the door you have been pounding on for months. For the past 90 days, you have felt like you were under a heavy cloud that refused to lift. You have looked at your life and wondered if I had forgotten my promises, or worse, if I had turned my back on you entirely. I have watched you navigate the corridors of your own exhaustion, feeling the weight of every disappointment and the sting of every door that slammed shut in your face. You thought you were being punished, didn't you? You thought that your mistakes had finally caught up with you, or that you were simply not enough to merit my favor. But I want you to look deeper into the shadows of these last 3 months. Every tear you shed was a seed, and every moment of isolation was a cocoon. I was not distant. I was shielding you. I was not ignoring you. I was preparing you for a weight of glory that your previous self could never have carried. The struggle you endured was not meant to break you, but to strip away the things that would have hindered your flight into the new season I am opening before you this very day. Before I reveal the profound mystery of why you had to walk through this fire, and before I show you the magnitude of the blessing that is already being released into your hands, I want you to perform a simple act of faith to signal your alignment with my word. Do not underestimate the power of your participation in this moment. I ask you now to press the like button and subscribe to this channel, not for the sake of numbers, but as a physical declaration that you are opening your heart to this divine connection and joining a family of believers who walk in my light. By doing this, you are telling the heavens that you are ready to receive, that you are no longer a stranger to my voice, and that you are claiming this prophecy as your own. Type 707 or "I am here, Lord" in the comments right now to establish your presence before my throne. Let this be the moment you draw a line in the sand and declare that the season of lack and loneliness is officially over. Your agreement in this moment is the spark that will ignite the miracle I have prepared for your immediate future. Now lean in closer and hear my heart. The last 90 days were never intended to be your final destination. They were a sophisticated divine setup for the quantum leap you are about to experience. In the realm of the spirit, things are shifting with a speed you cannot yet perceive with your natural eyes. I allowed the pressure to increase, because pressure is the only thing that turns coal into diamonds and the only thing that forces the eagle to leave the nest and discover its wings. You felt like you were falling, but in reality, I was teaching you how to soar. You felt like you were losing your mind, but I was actually clearing out the old toxic thought patterns to make room for my divine wisdom. Every no you received from the world was a yes from me, protecting you from paths that would have led to your destruction. I have been orchestrating every detail behind the scenes, aligning people you haven't met yet, and opening treasuries you didn't know existed. You are not behind schedule. You are exactly where I need you to be for the rewards that are about to be released. Trust me, for the architect of the universe does nothing by accident, and your breakthrough is closer than your next breath. My precious child, I have seen the toll thus all this journey has taken on your physical frame. I have watched you drag your body through the day like a weight you could no longer carry. I saw you sitting on the edge of your bed at 3:00 a.m., staring into the darkness, wondering why sleep has become a stranger to you. I saw the way your head throbbed with a tension that no medicine could soothe the pressure born from the mountain of worries you've been trying to move on your own. I saw you in the shower, letting the water hide your tears, feeling the heaviness in your chest that makes every breath feel like a chore. You have pushed yourself to the point of collapse, trying to be strong for everyone else, while you were crumbling inside. But I want you to know that I was there in every sigh and every groan of your weary bones. I have counted every restless hour, and I am here now to place my healing hand upon the places that hurt the most. Your exhaustion is not a sign of failure. It is the evidence of the battle you have been fighting, a battle that is finally coming to an end. I see you when you look into the mirror and barely recognize the person staring back at you. I see the shadows under your eyes and the way your shoulders have slumped under the invisible burdens of the last 90 days. You feel as though the very life force is being drained from you, leaving you as a hollow shell of who you used to be. My beloved, this physical depletion was the result of a spiritual emptying out. Before I could fill you with the new wine of my spirit, I had to allow the old stagnant waters to be poured away. The fatigue you feel in your muscles and the fogginess in your mind are the signs of a deep recalibration. I am rewriting your DNA for the glory that is coming. I am strengthening your nervous system to handle the high-voltage blessings I am about to release. Do not be afraid of this weakness, for my strength is made perfect in it. Even now, as you listen to my voice, I am sending a wave of supernatural vitality through your veins. I am restoring the years that the locusts have eaten, beginning with your health and your energy. There were moments when the pain in your heart felt so physical that you wondered if you were truly sick. You felt a constriction in your throat, a lump that wouldn't go away, representing all the words you had to swallow and all the injustices you had to endure in silence. I saw you clench your jaw in the middle of the night, fighting against the anxiety that tried to swallow you whole. I want you to breathe. Now really breathe. Release the tension in your neck. Let your shoulders drop and allow my peace to flood your system. If you believe that I am the great physician and that I am mending your broken spirit and weary body right now, do not keep this to yourself. Press the like button and subscribe to this sanctuary of light to let the heavens know you are claiming your healing. This is your moment of physical and spiritual alignment. By subscribing, you are planting yourself in a garden of faith where my word can nourish you daily. Your body is my temple, and I am coming to dwell in it with a freshness you have never known. Every ache you have felt was a signal that you were reaching the limit of your own strength, so that you would finally lean into mine. I am the God who gives power to the faint and increases strength to those who have no might. You have been running on empty for too long, but I am your infinite source. The heaviness you felt in your chest was the pressure of the old season trying to hold on to you as you move toward the exit. It is falling off now. The headaches that haunted your afternoons are being replaced by a clarity of vision that will allow you to see the opportunities I am placing in your path. You are not breaking down. You are being broken open so that the fragrance of your destiny can finally be released. Your physical body is catching up to the miracle that has already occurred in the spirit. You are being renewed like the eagle, and soon you will run and not be weary. You will walk and not faint. This physical toll was the price of admission to a level of power you haven't even dreamed of yet. My child, I have walked beside you through the corridors of your deepest disappointments. I saw the look in your eyes when you realized that the loyalty you gave so freely was not returned. I was there when the very people you helped, the ones you carried when they were weak, and the ones you defended when others whispered against them, turned their backs on you. I heard the conversations they had behind closed doors, the subtle slanders and the cold silence that followed when you needed them most. You have felt the sting of the Judas kiss, the betrayal of the close circle. It left a wound in your soul that feels deeper than any physical pain, making you question your own judgment and your worth. You wondered how you could have been so blind, but I want you to stop blaming yourself. You weren't blind. You were filled with my love, and love always hopes for the best. Their betrayal was not a reflection of your character, but a revelation of theirs, and it was a necessary part of the blueprint I have for your life. I allowed those bridges to burn because I saw the rot in the wood that you could not see. If I had not permitted that separation, those individuals would have become a snare in your next season. They were comfortable with your struggle, but they would have been intimidated by your success. They loved the version of you that was less than, but they could not celebrate the version of you I am now bringing forth. Think of it as a divine pruning. Just as a gardener cuts away the branches that are taking up space without producing fruit, I had to cut the umbilical cord connecting you to your past. This isolation was not a rejection from me. It was a protection for your future. I was removing the voices of doubt, the spirits of jealousy, and the leeches of your energy so that you could enter the gates of your destiny unencumbered. I am clearing the table to make room for the destiny helpers. I am currently preparing to send your way people who will see your value without you having to explain it. I want you to take a moment right now and do something very important for your spiritual health. Close your eyes and take a long, deep breath. Hold it for a second, and as you exhale, I want you to release the resentment, the why me, and the bitterness that has been tightening your chest. Feel the weight of their betrayal leaving your spirit. You do not need to seek revenge, for I am your vindicator. I have seen every tear and every lie told against you, and I am the one who settles the accounts. By letting go, you are not saying what they did was right. You are saying that you trust me more than you hurt. This act of forgiveness is your superpower. It is the key that unlocks the prison cell they tried to keep you in. As you breathe out that old pain, you are making room for the peace that surpasses all understanding. You are showing me that you are ready to move forward into the wealth and the honor I have stored up for you, leaving the shadows of the past behind. My beloved, understand that even Jesus had to endure the kiss of Judas to reach the glory of the resurrection. Your betrayal was the final sign that your wilderness season was coming to a close. You are being upgraded. The people who walked away from you were only allowed to stay for a certain chapter of your story, and that chapter has now ended. Do not try to rewrite it or force them back in. I am taking you to a place where their limited perspective can no longer reach. You are no longer defined by who left you, but by who stayed with you. And I have never left your side. Even when you felt most alone, I was holding you, whispering to your spirit that better days were coming. The space they left empty is not a void. It is an invitation for my presence to fill you completely. You are being rebuilt with a strength that is unbreakable. And soon those who tried to discard you will look at you and marvel at the glory I have placed upon your life. I know the agony of the silence you have endured over these last 90 days. I have seen you on your knees pouring out your heart until you had no more words left, only to be met with a stillness that felt like rejection. You looked for a sign, a whisper, or a flickering light to show you that I was still there. But the heavens seemed as hard as brass. You began to wonder if my ears had become heavy, or if your sins had finally created a wall that I would not cross. I felt the chill that settled in your spirit when you asked, "Where are you?" and heard nothing but the echo of your own voice. But I want you to understand something today that will change the way you view every dark night of the soul. My silence is never my absence. In the kingdom of heaven, silence is not a sign of abandonment. It is a sign of deep, holy concentration. I was not ignoring your cry. I was honoring your growth. Think of a classroom, my beloved. When the teacher is lecturing, the room is filled with sound instruction and guidance. But when the time comes for the final examination, the teacher becomes silent. They do not stop being the teacher, and they do not leave the room. They simply step back to allow the student to prove what they have learned. For the past 90 days, you have been in the most important examination of your life. I remained silent because I had such great confidence in the strength I had already poured into you. I knew that even in the quiet, you would not turn back. I knew that even when you couldn't feel my hand, you would still trust my heart. This silence was the highest compliment I could pay to your spirit. It was the proof that you are no longer a child who needs to be carried, but a warrior who can stand firm even when the terrain is shrouded in mist. While my voice was quiet, my hands were busy. Do you not realize that some of the greatest works of creation happen in total silence? The seed breaks open beneath the soil in the dark, quiet earth. The stars move in their orbits without making a sound. The sun rises over the horizon in a magnificent silent display of power. During these 90 days of silence, I was working in the underground of your life. I was rearranging the pieces of your future, dismantling the traps that your enemies had set, and building a foundation beneath you that no storm could ever shake. If I had spoken, you might have been distracted by the process. I needed you to lean in so close that you could hear my heartbeat instead of just my words. I was teaching you the language of the Spirit, which is spoken in the depths of the heart where words are no longer necessary. The silence is breaking now. Can you hear the sound of a heavy rain beginning to fall? Can you feel the shift in the atmosphere as the teacher walks toward your desk to collect the exam and hand you your diploma? You have passed the test of endurance. You have shown the heavens and the depths of hell that your faith is not dependent on a feeling or a favorable circumstance. Because you stayed faithful in the deafening silence, I am now going to speak to you in ways that the world cannot ignore. I am going to answer the prayers you forgot you even prayed. The silence was the necessary blank space before the most beautiful chapter of your life begins. Prepare yourself, for the one who was silent is now moving with a roar of vindication and a flood of provision that will leave you breathless with gratitude. My brave warrior, you have been wondering why the last 90 days felt like a coordinated assault on every front of your life. You have faced obstacles that didn't make sense, appliances breaking, health scares appearing out of nowhere, financial drains that seemed to leak from every corner, and a sudden cloud of confusion over your mind. You felt as though you were walking through a minefield, where every step forward was met with a new explosion of chaos. I want to pull back the veil today and show you the truth. This was not a string of bad luck, and it was not a coincidence. You have been in the middle of a fierce spiritual battle. The enemy of your soul has been working overtime to distract you, discourage you, and make you retreat. But do you know why a thief does not break into an empty house? The intensity of the attack is the greatest evidence of the value of the treasure I have placed inside of you. The enemy isn't fighting you for where you are. He is fighting you because he is terrified of where you are going. For 3 months, the darkness has tried to convince you that you are losing. But in the realm of the Spirit, your light has never been brighter. Every time you chose to pray instead of panic, every time you whispered my name through your tears, and every time you got out of bed, despite the heaviness, you were dealing a crushing blow to the kingdom of darkness. The enemy saw the 90-day setup beginning in the heavens. He saw the angels moving the resources. He saw the scrolls of your destiny being unrolled, and he panicked. He sent his best shots to stop you from reaching this specific moment, the moment you are listening to my voice and reclaiming your power. He wanted you to quit just inches away from the finish line. But look at you, you are still here. You are still standing. You are still seeking me. This is your proof that the enemy's power is limited, and that the greater one who lives in you is far superior to any force that has tried to bring you down. Consider the mother in the delivery room. The labor pains are most intense, most frequent, and most agonizing right before the baby is born. This stage is called transition, and it is the moment when many feel they can no longer go on. The last 90 days have been your spiritual transition. The pressure you have felt was not meant to crush your bones, but to push the new life out of your spirit and into your physical reality. You are not dying. You are birthing. You are birthing a new level of authority, a new level of wealth, and a new level of peace. The invisible enemies who have been whispering lies into your ear are about to be silenced by the sound of your victory. I have placed a hedge of protection around you that no demon can penetrate, and I have given my angels charge over you to keep you in all your ways. The arrows that were fired at you have been turned into fuel for your fire. If you can feel the shift in the atmosphere right now, if you recognize that this battle was a setup for your greatest win, then do not stay silent. This is a moment of divine agreement. Type "I believe" in the comments to signal to the spiritual realm that you are standing your ground. By doing this, you are putting the enemy on notice that his time is up and your season of triumph has begun. Also, take this moment to press the like button and subscribe to this sanctuary. When you do this, you are not just following a channel. You are connecting your spirit to a community of light, reinforcing your armor with the strength of others who are also called by my name. Your engagement is an act of faith that seals your protection and ensures that you will not walk through this fire alone. Rest in the knowledge that I am your shield and your great reward. The battle belongs to me, and the victory belongs to you. I have already seen the end of this conflict. You are standing on the mountaintop, clothed in honor. The things that tried to destroy you in the last 90 days are now under your feet. They were merely the weights used in your training to build the spiritual muscle you need for the weight of the blessing that is falling upon you right now. Do not fear the shadows, for I am the light that no darkness can overcome. Your setup is complete, and the release has begun. My beloved, I want to speak to you about the things you have lost in these last 90 days. I know the list is long, and I know the pain is fresh. You have seen relationships that you thought would last a lifetime suddenly wither and die. You have seen doors of opportunity which once seemed wide open swing shut and lock with a finality that left you stunned. Some of you have lost positions, some have lost finances, and some have even lost the sense of who they used to be. You have looked at the empty spaces in your life and cried out, "Why, Lord, why would you let this be taken from me when I was trying so hard to be faithful?" Today I want you to see those losses through my eyes. I am the true vine, and I have been carefully tending to the garden of your life. Every branch in me that does not bear fruit, I take away. And every branch that bears fruit, I prune, so that it may bear more fruit. What you experienced was not a season of destruction, but a season of divine pruning. Understand the heart of the vine-dresser. My child, a gardener does not prune a plant because he hates it. He prunes it because he sees its potential. He cuts away the dead wood, the diseased leaves, and even the healthy branches that are growing in the wrong direction, because he knows that if he does not, the plant will waste its energy and never reach its full stature. For the past 90 days, I have been cutting away everything that was sucking the life out of your destiny. I removed people who were meant for a season, but not for your forever. I closed doors that would have led you into a beautiful room that was ultimately a prison. I allowed certain things to fall away because they were suckers parts of your life that looked green and vibrant, but were actually preventing you from producing the heavy, sweet fruit I have called you to bear. The pain you felt at the point of the cut was real, but it was the pain of surgery, not the pain of a wound. I saw you trying to hold on to the branches as I was cutting them. I saw you trying to tape them back on, pleading with me to let you keep what was familiar. But I love you too much to let you stay comfortable in a version of your life that was too small for you. If I had not pruned you, you would have become stagnant. You would have hit a ceiling that you could never break through. By removing the good, I was making room for the great. Every empty space in your calendar, every empty chair at your table, and every empty pocket in your life is now a vacuum that I am preparing to fill with something far superior. Do not mourn the dead wood. Do not look back at the cuttings on the floor with regret. They had to go so that the sap of my spirit could flow purely into the parts of you that are destined for greatness. You are being refined, narrowed and focused for a specific purpose that requires absolute clarity. Take a moment to realize that you are still standing despite the heavy pruning. This is the proof of your strength. You are more resilient than you ever imagined. The very fact that you are still seeking my face after everything that was stripped away shows that your roots go deep into the soil of my grace. You have survived the cutting, and now you are ready for the blooming. The sap is rising, my beloved. The nutrients of heaven are being pumped into your spirit, and soon new buds of joy, new shoots of prosperity, and new leaves of influence will begin to appear where there was once only a scar. You are not a barren tree. You are a chosen vine, and the harvest that is coming from your life will feed many. Trust the vine dresser. I know exactly where to cut, and I know exactly when to stop. Your season of loss is over, and your season of exponential growth has begun. My chosen one, have you ever wondered why you felt like the black sheep of your family? Have you ever questioned why you never seemed to fit the mold that everyone else walked into so easily? Since the day you were born, there has been a different frequency to your spirit. You saw things others ignored, you felt pain that others dismissed, and you carried a sense of destiny that often felt more like a burden than a blessing. People called you sensitive or difficult, or perhaps they even called you lost. But I am here to tell you that you weren't lost. You were set apart. You didn't fit in because you weren't meant to blend in. You were designed to stand out as a beacon. The last 90 days of intense isolation were simply the final stages of separating you from the expectations of men so that you could finally embrace the expectations of heaven. You are not a mistake of nature. You are a masterpiece of my design, carrying a genetic spiritual code that is rare and precious. You carry within you the DNA of a curse breaker. The reason your path has been so much harder than those around you is that you are not just living your own life, you are breaking the chains of generations that came before you. I chose you to be the one who says no more to the cycles of poverty, no more to the patterns of addiction, and no more to the spirit of fear that has haunted your bloodline for decades. This is why the enemy fought you so hard in the last 90 days. He recognized the threat you posed to his kingdom. Every time you suffered an injustice and chose to remain kind, you were snapping a link in an ancient chain. Every time you lacked and still gave, you were rewriting the financial destiny of your children's children. You were not being punished for your past. You were being prepared to liberate your future. Your struggle has been the training ground for a liberator. You are the one the ancestors prayed for, and you are the one I have anointed to lead your family into a new land of promise. I did not create you to be a slave to circumstances or a mere follower of the crowd. You have the heart of a leader, and leaders are forged in the hottest fires. The reason you couldn't find peace in the normal life is that I have called you to the extraordinary. In these last 3 months, I have been testing your capacity to stand alone. A leader must be comfortable in the silence before they can speak to the masses. I have been building a ruggedness in your spirit that cannot be bought or taught. You have learned how to find my voice when all other voices are mocking you. You have learned how to trust my provision when the bank account says 0. This chosen one's DNA is now fully activated. You are no longer defined by the limitations of your upbringing or the labels placed upon you by small-minded people. You are a royal priesthood, a holy nation, a peculiar treasure. The very traits that made you feel weird or isolated are the very tools I will use to make you a person of great influence in the days to come. Look back at the last 90 days with a new perspective. Every moment of loneliness was me whispering, "You are mine." Every moment of being misunderstood was me saying I am the only one who needs to understand you. You have passed the test of identity. You no longer seek validation from the hands of people who cannot see your worth. You are now rooted and grounded in my love. This realization is the greatest breakthrough of all. When you know who you are, the world loses its power to shake you. You are moving from the back of the line to the front. You are moving from the shadows into the light. The black sheep is about to become the shepherd. The one who was rejected is about to be the cornerstone of a great work. Stand tall, my beloved, for you carry the signature of the Almighty in your very soul. And the world is about to see the glory I have hidden within you for such a time as this. My beloved, I want you to understand a fundamental truth of my kingdom. I do not give big assignments to small people, and I do not pour massive blessings into fragile containers. If I had granted the specific request you were making 90 days ago, the financial windfall, the position of power, or the total restoration of that relationship, at that exact moment, it would not have been a blessing. It would have been a burden that destroyed you. You were asking for the weight of a mountain, but your foundation was still made of sand. These last 3 months have been an intensive period of capacity building. I have been digging deep into the soil of your character, removing the stones of pride, the clay of insecurity, and the debris of your past traumas. The digging was painful, and the site looked messy. But I was simply making room for a structure that can reach the heavens. You felt like you were being buried, but in reality, you were being planted and reinforced. Imagine your life is like a container, and the blessing you are believing for is like a vast ocean of light. If I were to pour that ocean into a small, cracked vessel, the water would not only be wasted, it would shatter the vessel into 1,000 pieces. I love you too much to let my goodness become your undoing. The 90 days of not yet were not a denial, but a preservation of your future self. I had to ensure that your integrity was stronger than your ambition. I had to see if you would still seek my face when your hands were empty, because if you only seek me for what I can give you, you will lose me the moment you have it all. I have been stretching your patience, strengthening your resilience, and expanding your heart, so that when the floodgates finally open, and they are opening now, you will have the capacity to contain the abundance without being overwhelmed by it. If you believe that I am currently expanding your capacity for something far greater than you ever imagined, I want you to stop and acknowledge this spiritual work. Do not let this moment pass without a sign of agreement. pause for a second and press the like button and subscribe to this channel to signify that you are joining this family of believers. By doing this, you are telling the universe and the heavens, I am ready to grow. You are declaring that you are no longer content with being a small vessel, but that you are ready to become a reservoir of my grace. Type, I am ready, in the comments right now. This is not just a comment. It is a prophetic declaration that your capacity has been expanded, and you are stepping into the much that I have promised to those who handle the little with faithfulness. Let your click and your words be the seal of your readiness for the overflow. You must realize that real blessings are heavy. They require strong shoulders, steady hands, and a mind that is anchored in my peace. The pressure you have felt lately was the weight of my glory, testing the walls of your spirit. Every time you chose to be honest when it was hard, every time you chose to be kind when you were treated unfairly, and every time you chose to trust me, instead of worrying, you were thickening the walls of your character. You were becoming fireproof and pressure-proof. You are now a vessel of honor, refined in the furnace of affliction and prepared for every good work. The construction phase is nearly complete. The foundation is set, the walls are high, and the capacity is there. You are no longer the same person who entered this 90-day season. You are larger, stronger, and more capable of holding the miraculous. Get ready for, I am about to fill you to the point of overflowing. My beloved child, listen closely to the decree I am making over your life this very hour. For the past 90 days, you have looked at your accounts and felt a cold knot of fear tightening in your stomach. You have counted pennies, deferred your dreams, and wondered if you would ever be free from the crushing weight of debt and the constant shadow of lack. I have seen you sitting at your table late at night, bills spread out before you like a battle map, trying to figure out how to make the impossible possible. You have felt the spirit of poverty whispering in your ear that you will always be behind, always struggling, and always barely surviving. But I am here to tell you that the season of the famine is officially over. I am signing a divine decree of financial release over your household right now. I am not just bringing you a drop of water in the desert. I am opening the floodgates of my supernatural provision. The drought is breaking, and the sound of abundance is rising from the horizon of your life. I am the God who restores, and I am looking at the years that the swarming locusts have eaten, the years of wasted efforts, the years of stolen opportunities, and the months where your hard-earned money seemed to disappear into a bag filled with holes. I promised in my word that I would repay you for what was lost, and I am a God who never breaks a promise. I am not just going to give you back what you had. I am bringing you a double portion to compensate for the trouble you have endured. I am aligning the hearts of people you haven't even met yet to show you favor. I am placing your name in the minds of decision makers in rooms you have not yet entered. Unexpected breakthroughs, debt cancellations that defy human logic, and business ideas that will generate wealth even while you sleep, but these are not fantasies. They are the tangible rewards of your endurance. You have been faithful in the lean times, and now I am making you the manager of the bountiful times. I am turning your not enough into more than enough. Do not look at the economy of the world to determine your worth or your future, for you belong to the economy of the kingdom of heaven. While the world sees scarcity, I see seeds. While the world sees walls, I see doors where there were none. I am the one who can find a coin in the mouth of a fish and rain manna from a clear blue sky. In the coming days, you will begin to see the first ripples of this financial tide. It may start with a small gesture, a refund you weren't expecting, or a sudden clarity on how to solve a problem that has been draining your resources. Do not despise these small beginnings, for they are the scouts of the army of blessings marching toward you. I am making you a lender and not a borrower. I am making you the head and not the tail. This wealth is not just for your comfort, but so that you can be a conduit of my love and provision to a hurting world. You are being blessed so that you may be a blessing to many. I see the spirit of heaviness that has tried to convince you that your best days are behind you. But I tell you that your greatest financial victories are still ahead. You have passed the test of the hidden season. You did not curse me when you were low, and you did not give up when you were tired. Therefore, I am entrusting you with the true riches. I am going to show you how to multiply what you have. I am going to give you wisdom that no university can teach. The pressure of the last 90 days has made you wealth-proof. You will not be corrupted by the blessing, because you know the source of the blessing. Get ready to breathe again. Get ready to give with a joyful heart. Get ready to see the manifestation of Joel 2:25 in every corner of your bank account. It is done, it is settled, and it is manifesting even as you listen to these words. My child, as you stand in the space created by the pruning of the last 90 days, I want you to look at the empty chairs at your table, not as a sign of loss, but as a sign of reserved seating. I have carefully cleared the room because the conversations of your past were too small for the destiny of your future. You have felt the sting of isolation, the silence of friends who stopped calling, and the coldness of those who once claimed to be your pillars. But I want you to understand that I was the one who permitted the silence. I was the one who moved the people who could only love you when you were stagnant. I am now preparing a whole new set of connections, divine appointments with individuals whose souls are knit to yours by my own hand. These are not merely social acquaintances. They are destiny helpers sent to provide the keys, the wisdom, and the support that your previous circle could never offer. They are coming not to take from you, but to pour into you. I am bringing people into your life who will see the chosen one's DNA in you without you having to utter a single word of explanation. They will be attracted to the light that has been forged in your fire. While the people of your past looked at your scars and saw failure, these new connections will look at your scars and see credentials. I am aligning you with mentors who will pour their years of wisdom into you, partners who will build your dreams alongside you, and friends who will protect your peace as if it were their own. You will no longer have to perform to be loved or hustle to be seen. These divine connections are a reward for your faithfulness during your lonely season. I am opening doors to networks and communities where you will finally feel like you truly belong, not because you changed who you are, but because I have finally brought you to those who speak your spiritual language and recognize your value. And what of those who walked away? What of the ones who whispered that you were finished or that your dreams were mere delusions? Stay still and watch, for I am your vindicator. I am going to bless you so visibly and so profoundly that those who discarded you will have to acknowledge the hand of God upon your life. They will see the restoration of your joy, the expansion of your influence, and the glow of my favor upon your face. I am not doing this to embarrass them, but to show them that whom I have blessed, no man can curse. Some will attempt to return when they see your harvest, and in that moment I will give you the wisdom to know who to forgive from a distance and who to allow back into your inner court. You are moving from being a person who was used by others to being a vessel used by me, and I am surrounding you with a tribe that is worthy of your heart. You are not meant to walk this path alone, and I am bringing the right people at the right time with the right resources to walk alongside you into this next chapter. Your isolation was a temporary protection. Your community is your permanent reward. Trust me, the people I have prepared for you are far better than the ones you lost in the storm. My beloved child, for too long, you have felt like a ghost in your own life. I saw you sitting in meetings where your ideas were stolen, and I saw you in rooms where your presence was barely acknowledged. You have carried the heavy burden of being too much and not enough all at the same time. In these last 90 days, this feeling of invisibility reached a fever pitch. You felt as though you were screaming into a void, shouting for help or for recognition, only to find that the world had turned its volume down on you. I want you to know that this was not a mistake. I was keeping you in my secret place, hiding you from the eyes of the world so that I could work on your inner authority without the distraction of human praise. I was making you voice-proof so that when you finally do speak, your words would not come from a place of seeking validation, but from a place of sovereign truth. The season of being hidden is over. I am placing a fresh anointing of influence upon your life this very moment. There is a shift occurring in your spiritual atmosphere, and soon it will manifest in the natural world. People who once looked past you will now find themselves unable to look away. When you walk into a room, there will be a weightiness to your presence, a divine gravity that demands respect, not because you have shouted for it, but because the glory of the Lord has risen upon you. I am giving you a seat at the table that you did not have to beg for. You will find that your opinions are suddenly sought after, and your insights are regarded as wisdom. This is the reward for your silence during the storm. Because you did not use your tongue to curse or to complain during the last 90 days, I am now giving your tongue the power to command and to heal. If you can feel the weight of this new authority settling on your shoulders, do not ignore the stirring in your spirit. This is a holy moment of transition. I invite you now to press the like button and subscribe to this channel as a physical act of agreement with the honor I am bestowing upon you. By joining this family of believers, you are stepping out of the shadows of the past and into the light of your true identity as a leader in my kingdom. Your subscription is a declaration that you are ready to be seen, ready to be heard, and ready to carry the influence I have destined for you. This is not about vanity. It is about the mission I have placed within you. Subscribe now to seal this shift and to ensure you stay aligned with the prophetic flow I am releasing over your life today. You will no longer be the one chasing after opportunities. Opportunities will begin to chase after you. I am putting my words in your mouth and my fire in your eyes. When you speak, people will feel a resonance in their own spirits that they cannot explain. You will find yourself in positions of leadership that you didn't even apply for, and you will be given platforms to speak truth into dark places. The enemy tried to silence you in the last 90 days because he was afraid of the sound of your victory. But the roar that is coming out of you now is a roar that has been tempered by the fire and seasoned by the silence. Your influence will not be used for selfish gain, but to lift up the broken, to guide the lost, and to manifest my kingdom on earth. Your voice matters, my chosen one. It is time to step into the light and let the world hear what I have whispered to you in the dark. My beloved, I am bringing you into a season where time will no longer function as you have known it. For the last 90 days, every minute felt like an hour, and every week felt like a year of uphill climbing. You have been moving through the thick mud of delay, watching others pass you by while you felt stuck in a repetitive cycle of waiting and wondering. But I am declaring a divine acceleration over your life right now. The setup phase is complete, and we are entering the manifestation phase. In my kingdom, I can do in a single day what would take a man a decade to accomplish. I am collapsing time on your behalf. The things that were supposed to take months to resolve will now be settled in hours. The growth that was supposed to take years will happen in weeks. You are moving from the slow crawl of the wilderness into the rapid-fire success of the promised land. Do not be startled by the speed, for I have strengthened your spirit specifically to handle this momentum. Within the next 7 days, and for some of you even within the next 72 hours, you will see a clear, undeniable sign that the winds have shifted. This is not a vague promise. It is a prophetic marker. I am sending an acceleration signal into your physical reality. You may see a specific sequence of numbers like 1111, 777, or 1212, repeating wherever you look, serving as my thumbprint on your day. But it will go deeper than numbers. Watch your inbox. Watch your phone. An email that has been sitting in a draft or a decision that has been under review for months is about to be released. A phone call from an unexpected source will bring news that changes the trajectory of your month. I am moving the hearts of people to act on your behalf with an urgency they cannot explain. They will feel a divine nudge to help you, to hire you, or to bless you, and they will not find peace until they have followed through. If you are ready to step into this supernatural speed and you believe that your time of waiting is officially over, I want you to anchor this word right now. Do not let this moment of acceleration pass you by without making a claim in the spirit. Type 7007 or acceleration is mine in the comments to lock this frequency into your life. By doing this, you are agreeing with the tempo of heaven and telling the spirit of delay that it no longer has a hold on your destiny. This is your act of faith that signals your readiness to run. Do not be afraid of the pace. I am the one holding your hand, and I will ensure that your feet do not stumble as the world begins to blur around you. You have been faithful in the slow season, so now you will be rewarded with the fast season. The harvest is overtaking the plowman, and the miracles are beginning to stack one upon the other. I saw you checking your messages with a heavy heart, hoping for a breakthrough that never seemed to arrive. I saw you looking at the calendar and feeling the sting of another month passing without the change you prayed for. I am the Lord of the harvest, and I tell you that the delay was not a denial. It was a gathering of energy. Like an arrow being pulled back on a bowstring, the further you were pulled back in the last 90 days, the faster and further you are about to be launched. In this 7-day window, I am clearing the backlog of your blessings. Every prayer that seemed to be hanging in the air is now being answered in a rapid-fire succession. You will look back at this week and realize it was the turning point where everything finally clicked into place. Stay alert, stay expectant, and keep your eyes on me, for the God of the breakthrough is moving with a holy speed that nothing can hinder. My beloved, I want to talk to you about the most precious gift I am placing in your hands today. It is not the gold, it is not the influence, and it is not the vindication, though all those things are yours. The greatest reward I am releasing to you right now is a peace that surpasses all human understanding. For 90 days, your mind has been a battlefield. I saw you trying to sleep while 1,000 what-ifs shouted in your ears. I saw the physical vibration of anxiety in your hands and the shallow breath of a spirit that was constantly on high alert, waiting for the next disaster to strike. You have been living in a state of survival, your nervous system frayed by the constant shocks of the last 3 months. But look at me now. I am speaking a word of peace. Be still over the waves of your internal ocean. I am hushing the voices of doubt and the screams of fear. This peace is not something you have to work for or earn. It is the atmosphere of my presence settling into the very marrow of your bones. This is a supernatural peace that does not make sense to the logical mind. It is a peace that allows you to smile while the wind is still howling outside. It is a peace that allows you to sleep deeply, even while the debt is not yet fully cleared or the relationship is not yet fully mended. Why? Because you finally know in the deepest part of your soul that I have it all under control. The last 90 days were designed to strip away your reliance on your own understanding so that you would eventually fall into the arms of my peace. You have discovered that my peace is not the absence of trouble, but the presence of my spirit in the midst of it. I am giving you back your rest. I am restoring your capacity to experience joy in the small things, the taste of your food, the beauty of the sunrise, the sound of laughter. The weight that has been pressing on your chest for 3 months is lifting right now. You can breathe, my child. You can let go of the steering wheel. I am driving now, and the destination is glory. The enemy will still try to send his arrows of worry, but from this day forward, they will hit a shield of peace that they cannot penetrate. They will fall harmlessly to the ground because you have become unshakable. You are no longer a person who is moved by a bad report or a cold look. You are anchored in the rock of ages. This peace is your credential as a citizen of heaven. It is the proof that you have passed the fire and come out without the smell of smoke. When others see you, they will wonder how you can be so calm in such a chaotic world, and you will simply point them to me. This peace is the foundation upon which I am building your new life. Without it, the wealth would make you anxious and the influence would make you proud. But with this peace, you are ready to handle the weight of the blessing. Enter into my rest today, for the struggle is over, the battle is won, and the Prince of Peace is now the guardian of your heart. My beloved child, we have walked through the fire and the flood together in these moments of divine connection. We have looked back at the last 90 days, not as a period of purposeless suffering, but as a meticulously designed architect's blueprint for the palace I am building in your life. You have seen the physical toll, with the betrayal of the Judas, kissed the deafening silence, and the fierce spiritual warfare, for what they truly were, the preparation of a champion. You now understand that you were not being buried. You were being planted. You were not being punished. You were being trained. The setup is now officially complete. The curtain is rising on a new act of your life, where the tears of the night are replaced by the shouting of the morning. I am now ready to place the final seal upon this prophecy, locking it into your reality, so that no power in hell and no scheme of man can steal what I have decreed for you this day. I want you to prepare your heart for a final act of spiritual sealing. Before the sun sets on this day, the heavens have recorded your presence here. You have listened, you have believed, and you have remained. This is the moment where the potential becomes the actual. I am sealing your finances, your health, your family, and your peace with my own signet ring. Every word spoken in this message is now being woven into the fabric of your upcoming week. To lock this blessing into your life and ensure that every promise finds its way to your doorstep, I ask you to type Amen or It is done in the comments right now. This is your final seal, your signature on the divine contract. By doing this, you are closing the door on the last 90 days and stepping fully into the reward. Do not let the enemy whisper doubt. Let your Amen be the thunder that silences his lies forever. It is settled in heaven, and now it is being settled on earth. Now, my precious one, I want us to speak to the heavens together. Lean into my presence and let these words become your own as you repeat them in your spirit. Heavenly Father, I thank you for finding me in my darkest hour. I thank you for revealing that my last 90 days were not a season of loss, but a divine setup for my greatest gain. I surrender every hurt, every betrayal, and every moment of lack into your hands. I forgive those who walked away, and I release the bitterness that tried to take root in my heart. I receive your healing for my body, your peace for my mind, and your abundance for my storehouses. I declare that I am a chosen one, a curse breaker, and a vessel of your glory. I stop looking back at the ashes, and I start looking forward to the beauty you are creating. I am ready for the acceleration. I am ready for the connections. And I am ready for the double portion you have promised. My life is in your hands, and I trust your perfect timing. Continue to breathe in this truth as we finalize this prayer. Lord, I thank you that the spirit of delay is broken over my life. I thank you that in the next 7 days, I will see the signs of your favor. I receive the anointing of influence, and I promise to use every blessing to honor you and to lift up those around me. I am no longer a victim. I am a victor. I am no longer invisible. I am empowered. I thank you that the waiting room has become a birthing room, and my new life is beginning right now. I seal this prayer with the blood of the covenant, and I stand in the authority of your name. I will sleep in peace, I will walk in power, and I will live in overflow. I claim every promise, every breakthrough, and every restoration. It is mine, it is here, and it is finished. Amen. My child, as you emerge from this experience, understand that the blessings I am pouring into you carry a sacred purpose. You are being blessed to be a light in a dark world. After you receive your financial breakthrough, after you see the restoration of your health, and after you feel the warmth of new divine connections, I will reveal to you a new mission, a calling that will use your story of endurance to save others. This is only the beginning of our journey together. Your life will become a living testimony that I am a God who restores, a God who redeems, and a God who never leaves his children in the fire. The world will look at you and see the evidence of my love. You have passed the test, you have stood your ground, and now you are ready to walk into the destiny that was written for you before the foundations of the world were laid. Before you go out into this new day, remember that you are now part of a global family of light. Do not walk away as a stranger. Stay connected to the source of these daily revelations. If you have not yet done so, press the like button and subscribe to this channel one final time, and be sure to turn on the notification bell. This is your commitment to stay in the flow of my prophetic word, ensuring that you never miss the next step of your mission. Share this message with 3 people who are currently in their own 90-day fire. Be the vessel that carries hope to their weary souls. Your act of sharing will trigger a wave of favor back into your own life. I love you with an everlasting love, and I am already working on your tomorrow. Type "I claim double portion" to activate the final reward. The storm has passed. The sun is rising. Your rewards are here.